Well, hello there. We're actually on video for this unfiltered episode. It is Friday evening. I actually wanted to record this earlier, but didn't have a chance to do that because number one, I voted today. I voted number one. Number two, just busy, running errands, as of course. And my wife is actually going to be running a 10K tomorrow, so I'm home with the kids alone. So, but I got a couple minutes to share this to share this video. Um, and I wanted to react to last night's Jets game, the Jets Texans game. The Jets finally get a win after five straight losses. Um, and I, I know people don't see the title is of this short, mini pod, we call it Unfiltered Podcast. And then think, well, what are you talking about? The Jets season's not dead just yet. Well, here's the thing: the Jets last night, even though they did beat the Texans, a good Texans team, a Texans team that's really, I think, is a team still banged up, still trying to figure themselves out. Um, I would say I'm not as impressed with this year. I guess in terms of the product, like I certainly would put in my Super Bowl bubble. I certainly wouldn't put them ahead. Like if I'm ranking the teams right now in the AFC, for example, Chiefs number one for me, Baltimore number two, I go Buffalo number three. And to be honest with you, I think the Texans and Steelers are actually almost like a wash. So I would have put the Texans as a Super Bowl team. They're picking them in the AFC South, and that's obviously going to happen. So I'm not worried about that. But back to the Jets. It's all about the Jets. And the reason why I think the Jets season's not dead yet is this. You look at the playoff picture, which I'm going to bring up here right now. And I spoke about this on the Earnest EJ podcast actually a couple of days ago. And I said that the playoff picture in the AFC, specifically the divisional, the wild card picture rather is not as defined as you think it is. So if you see on the screen here, of course, obviously, I'm not going to show the top seeds, but here are the wild cards. Right now, the wild cards right now currently if the playoffs are today, and again, this is week 9. Broncos a 5 seed, Ravens at 6, Chargers at 7 right now as the wild cards. It's on the bubble now. Number 8, the Colts at 4-4. Number 9, the Bengals at 3-5. And remember, these two teams still have to play this weekend. Number 10, Nets 3-6. And right now, their playoff probability right now currently is 28%. Now you say, well, EJ, you're insane. Why the Jets have no chance? They look like crap. And here's the thing: you would be right because I think the Jets' product right now, as you see, even last night, I was not impressed. They were, they beat a Texans team again that was banged up on a short week, and all that stuff. So if the Jets were going to win, we're going to have a chance to win a game. Which by the way, on my best bets, I did pick the Jets to win that game. That was the game to do it for the Jets to turn things around. And they weren't impressive. I mean, all you can say, they gave up a silly touchdown where I can't remember the guy's name. Number 14 had a touchdown, but he lost the ball at the line, being silly. So you can say, well, they have been impressive, and again, they struggled to get get this game, put this game out of reach, and you'd be right there. And in fact, I will still say, if I'm a betting man, I am not betting. I'm not betting on the Jets to make the playoffs. But what I will say is you can't count out this yet. They do have Aaron Rodgers still, who obviously this is probably his worst year of his career, but he still has moments. He still has moments where he shows some signs of life. He doesn't move well like in the pocket like he used to. Obviously, there's definitely the offense is still struggling to to do anything, to play consistent, to make consistent plays. The running game is kind of in and out, you know, but they still have talent. And if at any point they decide to turn it on, they could be in trouble. But the thing is, the margin of error is much smaller now. But that being said, you look at I showed the play picture there, of course, and they're right in the mix. Like they're not the what? So 3-6 right now. The 7 seed will be 5-3, 4-3 Chargers, and Chargers lose to Cleveland this weekend, the only game back. So they're not out of it just yet. So then you got to say, well, EJ, well, if that's the case, then what's their schedule looking like going forward? So as I bring up their schedule, I'm doing this in real time. Sorry, guys. I bring up their schedule right now currently. So they beat Houston last night. Um, there it is. All right, beat Houston last night. So their next this is how I like to do it always. I always like to freeze frame the next 4 games. The next 4 games for the Jets coming up are at Arizona, the Colts at home, the Seahawks at home, and then at the Dolphins. Now, obviously, Jets are struggling this year. They can't be trusted, right? Yes, I'm with you. But none of these next 4 teams here are not teams that that you couldn't beat. They're not playing Buffalo. They're not playing Kansas City. They're not playing the Eagles. They're not playing Lions or Packers. They're playing the Cardinals, who are Jekyll and Hyde. The Colts team, who are Jekyll and Hyde. The Seahawks, who are definitely Jekyll and Hyde. And the Dolphins team that will be a divisional game, who have not been well, who have not played well this year. Go even further. There's 2 more games after that. Let's say they go to that stretch of 3-1 or even 4-0. Your next 2 games after that, the Jaguars on the road, who look like they're putting on the seats right now at this point. I mean, the Jags aren't terrible, but they're certainly not a team that the Jets could beat. And then you have the Rams at home, who the Rams, I believe, if they're healthy, certainly a formidable, but if they're healthy, which they may not be healthy by the time that game comes around. And then you go even further into the schedule. I click here to see more. Sorry about that, guys. That Rams game here. There we go. Then it gets tough there because in the last week 17 rather, is at Buffalo, which is probably a loss, and then week 18 is the Dolphins at home. So the Jets have a doable schedule here. They have a doable schedule to get through, but again, it all comes down to them and Aaron Rodgers and those guys in the run game and Breece Hall to put all together. Can he do so? All I'm saying is that the season's not dead yet. The AFC playoff picture not defined. Broncos right now currently the top wild card. I don't know. I personally right now don't expect them to sustain that. I think they'll lose to Baltimore this week. So there you go. So that's 1 notch down. Who's the 6th seed now? The 6th seed now currently in the AFC, as I mentioned, was the Ravens right now currently. But look, Ravens, Steelers, that's 1 spot gone. And then 7th seed the Chargers now, who are playing in Cleveland, which I picked Cleveland to win that game. So if they lose that game, now they're only a game behind. So, like I said, I wouldn't put throw dirt on the Jet season just yet. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, that's today's Unfiltered podcast. Again, video version today for once. This podcast does have its own feed as well on podcast. When it's audio only, just look up Earnest Speaking Unfiltered, is the B-side of Earnest Speaking podcast. Of course, my YouTube page, youtube.com/Earnest Christian, is there as well too. And we will talk to you soon.